Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Season Keepers, the show where the only two people we recommend keeping for the season is us. My name's Matt, aka Clean Sheet Wipeout.
My name's James, aka FPL Drug.
The tournament is finally over, mate.
Yeah, what a roller coaster it's been.
I'm absolutely knackered.
We feel quite deflated now,
Yeah.
but it has been a great tournament in terms of action and the games we've experienced.
Oh, absolutely. There was some exceptional days, which we'll touch on. And then obviously England's journey, which I think will be the first thing that we really properly talk about. You know, the fact that we've got all the way to the final, that the country is widespread, been right behind the team. And obviously to get so close last night and just miss out, kind of a bit shattering, really. I'm knackered today, and I think it's more not really through drinking last night. I didn't drink too much. It was more just the stress of it all, I think. And just that build up to then shatter your dreams for the last penalty of the game. It's unfortunate. But I think, for today's pod, obviously going to do a Euro 2020 review. I think we'll start on thoughts on the final and England's journey. You know, we might touch a little bit on the behaviour of the fans, because obviously we've seen that in the media. Then I reckon we'll look at a bit of a review of Euro 2020 by stats. There's some interesting stats in there. Maybe chat a little bit about our moments of the tournament, and then to end, we will each provide our team of the tournament, and we'll see how closely it relates to what I think personally is a laughable Euro 2020 UEFA team of the tournament. So we'll see how many picks we've got compared to them. But should we get right into it then, mate? And thoughts on the final?
Yeah. Well, it was a strange game, obviously. The goal came very early for us. Took pretty much everyone by surprise.
Yeah.
Great finish by Luke Shaw on the half volley. Brilliant delivery into him. A lovely move, lovely counter-attacking move from us. And the first 30 minutes, we were brilliant.
Yeah, 100%.
We had a lot of the ball. We were attacking. We looked confident. And then obviously the momentum started to change after that sort of first 30 minutes.
Yeah, I think obviously the moment Luke Shaw's goal goes in after 3 minutes, I'm right behind this 5 at the back, or the 3-4-3 that we were playing. I thought, yeah, perfect. Trippier's got so much space out on that right wing. You know, nobody was picking him up. And then obviously Luke Shaw was able to drift in on the left and then put the ball away. But do you think we scored too early?
I mean, it's never a bad thing to score, but I think it maybe made it difficult for us. We just sort of allowed Italy to come back into the game. Just sort of gradually giving them more and more possession. And then we were, at times in the second half, we were struggling to get the ball back.
Yeah, no, it was frustrating. Like you said, that first 30 minutes, I think arguably we probably should have had another. You know, we were creating chances, and we were right on top of Italy at that point. And the momentum was with us. The fans were right behind the team. We were pressing. In order to go on and kill that game, we should have really taken another. And like you said, like second half, as soon as we came out, we didn't really change anything tactically. We just seemed to sit back. And it was almost a repeat of obviously Croatia 2018. You know, we allowed the other team, after going a goal up, to come back onto us. And yeah, at one point, I'm pretty sure Italy had 80% possession in the second half, which isn't great. We just obviously allowed them to keep creating chances. And I was constantly saying to Ellie, my partner, and her parents, that's where I watched the final, Italy are going to score here. And it was inevitable. Obviously, it came. Brilliant save from Pickford. Palmed it back out, but Bonucci was there first and put it away. And from that moment, I actually thought Italy would go on and beat us in extra time, and I didn't even expect us to get to penalties.
Yeah, a real scrappy goal, but they really came into the game, and yeah, overall probably played better over the 120 minutes than we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Southgate's made a lot of good decisions this tournament and got a lot of things right when people questioned him.
Yeah.
However, I think maybe Grealish could have been brought on a bit sooner, and I don't really think it was a good idea taking Declan Rice off. I think he was brilliant, and it was just a shame to see him go, because I don't think Henderson and Phillips worked as well together as Rice and Phillips.
No, and I know Rice was probably inaccurate. Like he's been the one to kind of come off early, hasn't he? And the amount that lad runs in the middle of that park. Obviously, yesterday he had one hell of a task. Obviously, you've got Jorginho in there, Barella. You know, they're exceptional players to try and track. And I thought Phillips and Rice did exceptionally well. And yeah, like you say, when Henderson came on, it didn't feel like we had that command. And I know Henderson, you know, in his own right is a brilliant player, and he's probably a very vocal player to be alongside. But I just think Rice and Phillips, had that relationship throughout the tournament. And I was quite surprised at that key moment in the game to see him taken off. And I would have also liked to seen us go for it, because at the end of the day, you know, you're in a final. You can't be playing for extra time and penalties in that moment, because then it's a lottery. And as we saw, we lost it. I think we should have carried on and gone for it a little more. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen Grealish come on, Saka come on a bit earlier, and maybe even Sancho, you know, just try and go to the Italians, because they had so much possession. If we hit them with pace on the counter-attack, who knows?
Yeah, I think so. It's not like we're known for being good in penalty shootouts. So
No.
I don't get the whole, oh yeah, we'll play for pens. We'll get the win then.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah, I felt like we didn't push enough. But yeah, hey ho. I think another questionable decision was maybe not taking Mason Mount off.
Yeah.
I think he could have been subbed even at half time, to be honest. I don't think he had a good game at all. He was anonymous, and what he did do, he didn't really do well.
Yeah, I agree. I think Mount is one of those players that feels like it's one of Southgate's boys. Almost like, I guess, Mount was under Lampard, like undroppable. And,
what is it, man?
Well, but it just feels a bit strange that, yeah, he wasn't playing particularly well. And obviously he was out, positionally he was supposed to be out on the right, obviously Sterling wide left, but you often found him drifting in. And I think, yeah, to take him off earlier in the game would have been ideal, because then you could have brought on a Sancho or Rashford, someone with a bit of pace and someone that can stick to a byline and, you know, to make those runs and allow maybe one of the fullbacks to go past them. And I thought, you know, the Trippier to Saka move was a good idea, because I particularly enjoyed in the semi-final, obviously the own goal, that was entirely down to Saka's movement, getting down the byline and pinging the ball in. And obviously, had it not gone in off the Danish defender, then Sterling was there to tap it in. And we almost missed that. We didn't really have the impotence to go down the wing and, you know, get balls into the box. Maybe down to the fact that Harry Kane spent most of the half and most of the game, to be fair, either in and around the centre line or in our own half trying to win the ball back.
Yeah. I think we were a bit flat attacking wise. I think we played really well defensively. It was just like Southgate said, there was only so many attacks they could sustain, and eventually, obviously, Italy broke through with their quality. Chiesa obviously dribbled around a few players.
Exceptional player.
Brilliant player. I think he sort of made the difference, really. Obviously, he didn't score, but he played a big part in the game.
Yeah, I was over the moon to see him come off with 5-6 minutes to go in the second half of extra time, because he had most of our defenders on a plate at that point. You know, they were obviously shattered, and he just seemed to keep going. He got them through in the semi-final, didn't he? He was brilliant against Spain. So another one of those Italian players that I think in the end probably deserved to lift the trophy. But England's journey, I suppose, it was a bit bitty in parts, wasn't it? Like, we're all very proud of where England got to. The fact it was, you know, the first major final since '66, as we all know, you know, 55 years. And we can't take that away from them. And I have genuine hope for this group of lads, and I think the hope is there because they're a very likable squad, as well as a very talented squad. But even from the moment in the group stages, there were phases of play where you thought, okay, this is how we're going into games. We're looking to get that 1-0. We're looking to keep a clean sheet, get a 1-0, and make our way through. And it almost felt in the second half we reverted back to that rather than going for it like we saw against Ukraine.
Yeah, definitely. I think I'm going to be more optimistic than I was going into this tournament for 2022 with Qatar next year. Feeling good about it, to be honest. I think one of the most impressive games we had was obviously in the second round against Germany. For us to beat a team like Germany is something to be proud of.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stage where I had us going out.
Same.
I thought we wouldn't beat Germany. We came through that. We beat a very strong Danish side in the semis, and let's face it, we gave Italy a good game. We didn't get turned over. We didn't get beat 3-0. We didn't embarrass ourselves. We got right through to the end.
Yeah, exactly. And I suppose we should touch on it. What did you make of the penalty shootouts and the players that stepped up?
I mean, obviously Kane and Maguire's penalties were fantastic. Maguire, such conviction.
Oh, I know. He broke the camera.
Yeah, broke the camera. Top right corner. Beautiful. I don't think Rashford's penalty was that bad. Obviously, he hits the post. He just pulls it. He just overestimates how much he's got to do to get it in that corner.
He sold Donnarumma the wrong way.
Yeah, exactly. He sent him the wrong way. Whereas I think Sancho's and Saka's penalty were very similar. Not far enough in the corner, not hit with enough power. But who can blame them? They're young lads. They're very young. I mean, Saka's a child, according to Roy Keane.
Well, I know. Like, what a strange comment.
A child.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently Grealish did want to take a pen. But admittedly, in fairness to Southgate, he's never taken one in his senior career.
No, I know. I was very surprised to see him step up, but fair play to him because it's quite clear, they've worked on this and they would have a system in place of who's taken pens when. They've obviously all been practicing. For Saka to turn around and say, look, I want to take one, and for Southgate to put that trust in him, good on him, because, I mean, I wouldn't want to take one in that situation. It's bad enough taking one on a Sunday league game, genuinely, when you've got 12 people watching you. Talk about walking fifth, 60,000 people plus a nation watching you and, stepping up. And like you said, yeah, there might not have been enough conviction behind it and whatnot. But Jorginho missed a penalty for Italy. No one's talking about that. And that's what the first pen Jorginho has missed. And Pickford was brave, stood still whilst he did his hop, skip and a jump and made a brilliant save. But because obviously we go out, no one speaks about the fact that Jorginho, who's an experienced penalty taker, missed.
Yeah. I was saying to my friend when I was watching it, I was like, it's quite cruel, really. Jorginho and Saka have done the exact same thing. They've both missed a penalty, yet one of them celebrating winning the Euros, and another one's being sort of made the scapegoat.
I know. It's
horrendous.
It is, yeah. And I just can't stand seeing the kind of fans. And I guess we'll come on to it now. The behaviour of the fans yesterday and last night was deplorable. It started from, the scenes in Leicester Square, basically leaving the centre of London an absolute shithole was not great. The glass bottles everywhere. You had that complete idiot with the fucking flare sticking out of his arsehole. Like, what are you doing? And I mean, you often wonder why, fans both across Europe and across the world hate English fans. Well, the scenes before the game sums it up, from the centre of London through to storming Wembley. The fans without tickets were turning up and pushing their way through the balustrade in and getting through security and managed to make their way into the stadium. All of that just adds up, and people are watching that on the other side and thinking, what fucking idiots.
Yeah. And the worst thing is, it doesn't even surprise me, any of it, be it the hooliganism, be it the racist social media tweets.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me. It's become too familiar now. We've spoken before. The social media platforms need to do more to regulate this sort of thing, and hopefully that'll come. Hopefully, driving license, passport verification, whatever it is, happens.
Agreed. Yeah, and like obviously you mentioned it there. Yeah, the racism last night is horrible to see, and obviously the FA, England, they've all come out already slamming it and saying, we're disgusted by the comments, and I think 99% of us are, and it's that small minority that that feel that these young lads are now the scapegoats and they're attacking them because of the color of their skin, and it's horrendous. It winds me right up, but I genuinely feel no matter what we do as a country, no matter what we do, as a just as football fans, I think it's going to be almost impossible to completely eradicate it, and it's going to be a generational thing. I genuinely feel we're probably at least 2 generations away from getting rid of it, because there are people a lot younger than you and I that are still being brought up with these views.
Yeah, it's been going on for years, decades. Like we were talking about this, like in the 80s, the 90s, the noughties.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's just it's frustrating, but like what we've said, we're both incredibly proud of what the England boys have done. Thoroughly looking forward to Qatar 2022. I mean, it's only basically a year away. Like it's crazy to think that, and this squad is going to be very similar. I'm expecting a few changes. Obviously we can't bar for injuries throughout this Premier League season, but I think that the core of this squad could go far again in Qatar, and I think they've kind of, Southgate pointed out, we've had a 4th place, a 3rd place, and now a kind of runners-up medal in tournaments that he's taken part in as manager, and the next step is surely winning it.
I hope so. I mean, we're on the right path.
Exactly.
Apparently, I think I've seen the stats. Whoever gets the golden boot in the previous competition, be it the Euros or the World Cup, then that team wins the next tournament.
Okay, well that'll be interesting. Given Patrick Schick is joint top goal scorer.
There you go.
I think coming on to stats, there's some interesting stats looking on the UEFA website I thought we'd share. Obviously, 51 games throughout the tournament. There was, do you want to take a stab at how many goals there were?
Oh, let's say 86.
Yeah, well off, mate. 142 goals throughout the tournament. Crazy. 2.79 goals a game, 32 minutes per goal, which is, banging. Funnily enough, the majority of the goals were scored in the second half, which didn't really come as much of a surprise. But, to see it, I think it was 30%, 24%, and 24% for each of the quarters in the second half, compared to, I think it was 13% and 16% for the first half. It's not great, but just looking at it, it kind of reiterated the fact that I genuinely think Italy overall deserve winners. I mean, they scored the most goals in the tournament, 13 goals. They had the most attempts out of anybody, 128. Next best was Spain with 111. And then tackles made, again, outright winners with 99. I think there were 15 ahead of Switzerland in second. And then ball recoveries, again, I think they're 30 ahead of Spain. So for me, Italy, you can't say that they didn't deserve to win this tournament.
No, they had a very good tournament. I think they had the sort of right blend of age groups within their squad. They had the 2 old heads at the back, but then the rest of the team was actually quite youthful.
Yeah.
And I think, they've got some real leaders in there with Bonucci and Chiellini.
Oh, they do, yeah. And the fact that, Spinazzola, for instance, didn't even play the semi of the final, through his Achilles injury. And he was exceptional for Italy.
Yeah, a big miss, but they coped pretty well without him.
They did, yeah, they did. All right, well, moving away from stats then. Moments of the tournament. Do you have any particular, goals or days in the tournament that really stick out for you and that made the Euros what it was?
I mean, one of the particular games, I guess, France, Switzerland sort of sticks in the mind. Obviously, the arrogance of Paul Pogba, he scores a brilliant goal, but then obviously Switzerland go on to win.
That was an exceptional day because that day also had Croatia Spain, didn't it, beforehand?
Yeah, so that day, two brilliant games of football.
What a day of football!
Fantastic. Hungary as well, giving the Germans a good go.
Yeah.
Obviously, England beating Germany.
Has to be.
It's gonna stick in the mind for
Long
quite
time.
a while. And obviously, it's not really a good moment, but I think for most people, they will think of Christian Eriksen's collapse on the pitch against Denmark.
No, absolutely has to be mentioned. And I mean, I guess the positive from that is how resolute the Danes were, post that moment. Obviously, I don't think they were fit enough to play against Finland, after what happened on the pitch that day. But then the first half against Belgium, they came out firing. They were unbelievable. And they managed to scrape through the group, and then obviously gave, England a damn good game in that semi-final. Could have gone either way, to be fair. They could have made it to the final. And how good a story would have that been? I think most of us, had we not had our own clubs, would have been Denmark fans.
Oh, definitely. I felt for them when they went out, but obviously I was delighted for us to get through. But yeah, they did very well to after experiencing that to get all the way to the semis. It's credit to them.
Yeah, and the one thing I loved about Denmark was the fact that obviously we knew about Christian Eriksen, we knew about Schmeichel, but there's a few players in that Danish squad that I didn't really know much about. Like, I knew of Mæhle because Saints had been linked to him last season and the season before, but I didn't really take much notice of him. I knew he was at Atlanta, but he's unbelievable. And obviously he played left back for Denmark, but he's technically a right back by trade. Then you've obviously got Damsgaard, brilliant little player. And Dolberg obviously took advantage of the fact that he got his chance through injury and took it. And I thought he played very well when he was able to get the opportunities on the pitch.
Like you, I didn't know all the names, but as a team, they played very well together.
Yeah, for sure.
What about yourself?
I think moments of the tournament for me has to be that day that we've just spoken about, with obviously Croatia pulling it back, with Spain going all the way, extra time, pens. And then same thing with the France-Switzerland game, going all the way again, another comeback from 3-1 up, to make it 3-0, extra time and penalties. I think I was knackered the next day after watching that amount of football. It was so good, and it's what you wanted to see, like the tempo and teams just not giving up. And I guess it was kind of reminiscent of the Ukraine Netherlands game in the group stages. I really enjoyed, because again, Ukraine looked down and out, and they were, they didn't see that themselves. They kept on fighting, and they were very unlucky. They pulled it back, and then the Netherlands scored a last minute winner. But yeah, I think for me, those moments, personally, seeing Scotland draw 0-0 with England was amazing. I mean, people will laugh about it now. Yeah, I know Scotland went out. We were fourth in the group, and that first game against the Czech Republic that we lost, that was the moment that I think we lost the chance to qualify. But to see us play so well against England, I really enjoyed. The moment that I didn't enjoy, but fair fucking play to him, was Patrick Schick's goal against us. Goal of the tournament for me.
Yeah, fair play to you for saying that.
Yeah.
Great goal. They in particular surprised me, did Czech Republic.
Absolutely. Right. To end the pod then, I want to come on to a team of the tournament. Now, I don't know if you've seen the official Euro 2020 team of the tournament, but I think a few of the calls are quite laughable. So I'll read it out for you. So it starts off pretty well, to be fair. You've got Donnarumma in goal, Luke Shaw left back, Maguire and Chiellini centre backs, and then they've put Mæhle as right back. Cheating a little bit, but he is a right back by trade. Then They've then got two kind of defensive midfielders, which I think is laughable. They've put Granit Xhaka and Paul Pogba as the two standout defensive midfielders for the tournament, which don't know where they're getting that from. They've then got three in behind a striker. So to the left of those three, they've got Dolberg. We've mentioned him, yeah, but I don't think he should be in team of the tournament. They've then got Chiesa centrally in behind the striker, which is interesting. And then they've got Sterling right wing, should really be on the other side. And then I think they've copped out here because they've just gone for joint top goal scorer and they've put Cristiano Ronaldo as the star striker of the tournament. But I think there's at least 4, maybe 5 names in there, that I'd change. And I think looking at my team of the tournament, I've changed 7 of these. So to end, I think, we should talk about our own teams of the tournament, and I'll let you go first.
Okay, yeah. We'll see what you make of it. So in goal, I've actually gone for Pickford. Nice. I think he had a brilliant tournament. Obviously, kept a lot of clean sheets, made a lot of saves, and obviously yesterday was brilliant.
Got the Golden Glove.
Yeah. Left back, I've gone for Spinazzola. And 2 centre-backs, I've gone for Bonucci and Maguire. And the right back, obviously, he went out fairly early, but I've gone for Dumfries.
Okay, yeah.
I think he had a really good tournament when he was playing.
He did.
On the wings, I've gone for Yarmolenko and Chiesa. And in the middle, I'm not sure if it counts, maybe I'll get away with it. Insigne in the middle with Rice.
Cheeky.
Yeah, he was for a few games playing in the middle.
Can you imagine that partnership, Insigne and Declan Rice as 2 central midfielders?
bit of a weird one. And then up from, I've got Sheik and Sterling.
Okay, so you've gone more of a 4-4-2.
Yeah,
could kind of be a 4-3-3 if you then moved Insigne up top with
you could
Sterling.
do that. You could move around how you want, to be honest.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. There's certain picks in there that I haven't gone for myself, but you could probably argue a case for most of them, which I think is reasonable. I've gone 4-3-3. Exactly like you, I've gone Jordan Pickford. I know that Donnarumma has been given player of the tournament. I think he's been given that because Italy have won the Euro. I think Pickford, Golden Glove, kept 5 clean sheets, made some unbelievable saves throughout the tournament. So for me, easily goalkeeper. Left back would have been Spinazzola for me had he not got injured. However, I've been so impressed with Luke Shaw this tournament. I think he's probably been England's best player, other than Raheem Sterling, obviously with the goals. I think Luke Shaw deserves to have that left back spot, so I've given him that, and he's proved Mourinho wrong, which is even better. For me, I've gone John Stones and Bonucci, just because Stones has played every game, whereas obviously Maguire missed out for the first couple, obviously through injury. So I've gone Stones and Bonucci. And then right back, my cheating pick is Mela, because we know that he's a right back by trade. But if I have to pick a proper right back, I'd go Kyle Walker. I don't really think there's a lot of choice in that right back slot. Obviously, you've mentioned Denzel Dumfries, brilliant, albeit they went out in the last 16. Soufal is another one that you could probably go for, but just because he consistently played either right back or right of a back three, I've gone for Kyle Walker. In the centre midfield positions, I've gone Jorginho. I just think, he's an unbelievable talent. He's commanding. He runs the show when allowed to do so. I've gone for a player that I was really impressed with, and to be honest, didn't know a lot about. I went Emil Forsberg. Very impressed by him for his Swedish performances. And then I had to throw the young lad in, Pedri from Spain. I thought he's an unbelievable talent, and that lad's got one hell of a future. I mean, he's 18, 19 years old? Exceptional talent. And then up front, I've got a front three of, on the left, Raheem Sterling. On the right, Chiesa. I thought he was brilliant. And again, like you, I've gone Patrick Schick as my forward. For that lad to get 5 goals, joint top goal scorer in the Euros. Imagine the odds you would have got on that at the start of the tournament.
Yeah, astronomical. Yeah, fairly similar teams there. I don't think we'd have been sat here at the start of the tournament saying Pickford would be in our
No.
final 11 for the team for the whole Euros. But yeah, credit to him.
We've both had our doubts about Pickford, haven't we? Even when selected, we questioned it. And I mean, he's proved a lot of people wrong. He still has his moments, but in terms of being a shot stopper, I think he's been brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I guess Everton fans will be asking where this form is for them.
Yeah, we'll have to see about Everton. And obviously, talking of that kind of draws an end to the Euros. Obviously, we did our preview show at the start. There was a lot of content creators out there, the Happy Hour boys and Planet FPL that were churning out the Euros content. So we kind of took a back step and we thought, you know what, we'll finish off with a Euro review pod and then go straight back into our FPL shows. So we've already got one out that is our Prices pod, which has actually broken the record for the most listens so far. So I think both me and you are buzzing for that. First pod of the new season, and we've broken the records from last season. So long may that continue. And then we've also got on Wednesday. So we're recording Monday the 12th. So Wednesday the 14th is the second show. We're going to do it on game week 1 to 6 fixtures, and that will be going out on both our platform and Planet FPL's platform as part of their takeover week. So credit to Sudge and James for giving us that opportunity. We're incredibly grateful, and we hope that you guys enjoy the show. So I think that draws to an end the Euros content and draws to an end this podcast. So it's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Thanks, everyone.